See Kayla McBride, Angel McCautry, Asia Wilson, and Carolyn Swords, the other members of the Aces starting lineup. Meanwhile, on the Dallas side of things, Mariah Jefferson leading the point. Brian Agler extremely complimentary about his point guard, saying he has been so impressed with the attitude, the demeanor, and the play of Mariah Jefferson thus far, as she has been able to put the pieces together for the Dallas Wings. Brian Agler, it's his birthday today, and he's 4-1 when coaching on his birthday, including a 3-game winning streak that you know he wants to extend. You have any birthday jokes there, Rebecca? Nothing?
Well, I was going to say, you know, I wonder if he and Skylar Diggins sent each other happy birthday wishes.
Oh, nice.
Skylar Diggins Smith's birthday today as well.
That's right.
She did not play for him last year, but was on the roster for Dallas.
Yes, she was. Had a child and missed last season. Skylar's Phoenix Mercury winning earlier today, as Swords and Ndu will jump it up, and Ndu wins the tip for Dallas. Right away, Jefferson just blasts to the rim, but left it short, and Swords the rebound.
You will see this a lot. Asia Wilson isolated on one side of the floor, and that's the reason. If you space around her and you cannot send help, it's so difficult to prevent her from scoring.
She is just so difficult to stop. Vegas 1-2 thus far this season. Dallas 2-1. One of the things Brian Agler talked to us about was, hey, you know, Vegas will play a lot through the post with Asia Wilson. Here comes Sabali, the #2 overall pick, coming off a 23-point, 17-rebound game. Ndu will take it, miss from 3. Rebound left to McCautry. That's
the contrast you'll see in these two teams. Vegas is a team that likes to play inside out. Dallas, a team that will play outside in.
Here's Lindsay Allen getting the step and squeezing it in. Lindsay Allen in her 3rd season, the 14th pick of 2017 by New York. As Holly told us, did not play Friday due to an inconclusive COVID test. Agumba Wali's step back won't go. And the rebound taken by McBride. McBride still working her way into shape a bit. So Bill Lambier expects her to be a little up and down as a result. Wilson gets fouled, and Asia Wilson will shoot 2.
Vegas is going to look to get the ball in the paint, and one of the ways they do that effectively is by getting the ball to Asia Wilson and letting her operate, in particular when it's one-on-one. But their guards will also look for dribble penetration as a way to get inside. Lindsay Allen effective doing that as well. The last possession where Asia Wilson got fouled, you notice when she caught the ball? It wasn't one-on-one. She had 3 defenders around her reaching hands in. You have to swarm her. Because even though Vegas leads the league in 3-point shooting percentage, they also have attempted and made the fewest. It's not the biggest part of what they do, even though they're good when they take them.
A 6-0 start for Las Vegas, who last year really trounced Dallas, went 3-0 against them, and won by an average of 18.3 points per game. Some different pieces on both sides this season, though. Sabali gives it up. Ndu, the step back, no. Rebound taken by McCautry. McBride nifty behind the back, leaning 3 is good for Kayla McBride.
And she's one of the players who can efficiently hit from the perimeter.
And a 9-0 start for Vegas means a timeout for Dallas.
Feeling tricky. Kayla McBride hitting the triple.
I want to encourage all the rookies to take advantage of, you have Sue Bird here, Diana Taurasi, Sylvia Fowles. These rookies, start asking more questions. You have legends right there next to you. Start asking questions. So I'm challenging these rookies to do that.
I love that commentary from Angel McCautry and talking about taking advantage of having all these greats in one spot.
Yeah, I mean, you will most likely never have this circumstance again where you will be surrounded by women who have done at the highest level what you as a young player are aspiring to do.
Well, Holly Rowe is inside the wobble, so she can give us even more perspective on this.
Well, the reason Angel said that is because she was playing in her first games in 2 years. And after her first game where she was terrific with 25 points, her body was hurting. So she went to Tamika Catchings, who is a legend in this league, who is here as the GM for the Indiana Fever. And Tamika said, get in the pool. And I can attest, I have seen Angel in the pool many, many days here, doing her workouts, getting her body feeling better. And it was that idea that she was like, man, we've got crazy resources here. We got to use them.
And I know that Holly has seen players at the pool, because the other day I was texting Holly about work-related stuff, and I think the response was, leave me alone, I'm at the pool.
Look at the crossover from Sabali. Such a skill set. Now a corner three off the mark. Rebound taken away by Allen for Las Vegas. Here's McCautry into Wilson. A little too soft and knocked away by Dallas. That layup won't go because of a travel. Kayla Thornton called for it before the bucket.
When Ryan, as good and talented as Satou Sabally is, and we've seen her taking threes, she's been struggling to make them, but and how effective she is taking the ball off the bounce. A next level for her is becoming a little bit more comfortable back to the basket. Early in this game, she has Angel McCautry on her, and she definitely has the size advantage, but we have not seen her look to post up Angel because I don't think she's quite as comfortable there yet.
Ty Harris, Alicia Gray, Kayla Thornton, Stu and Du, and Satou Sabally, the 5 on the floor for Dallas, as that is saved off of Dallas. Now, was it saved by McCautry, though? And was it her air ball? Yeah, I'm not sure if Angel got to it first. Should it have been a travel off her air ball? Allen's jumper, as Vegas takes advantage, is good, and it's a 13-2 start for Las Vegas. Izzy Harrison into the game for Dallas as her pass ends up out of bounds. Dallas turns it over. Sabally unable to handle. And it is Las Vegas basketball.
Brian Agler telling us this Dallas team, because they are so young and inexperienced, that they will be inconsistent with their play. And it's not just game to game as McBride hits the jumper, but it's even within a game. They were down 12 at the half in their last game against Indiana, able to come back and win. But this is a team that can fluctuate throughout the course of a game.
Ty Harris using the screen from Harrison. Now it's Sabally. Sabally cutting through two. What a move from the #2 overall pick, Satou Sabally.
Terrific footwork once she picked up her dribble.
And now a steal from Dallas. Laying it up and in, Kayla Thornton with the easy bucket.
Yeah, Kayla Thornton doing a nice job bringing energy for her team on the defensive end of the floor. She got a lot of starts a season ago. Now her role is coming in off the bench, and she was good bringing energy in their last game as well.
Good D initially from Harrison, and then Sabally came with the help. Here's Thornton bodying in, left it short, and is called for the offensive foul. First personal on Kayla Thornton.
Satou Sabally at 6'4", very good, facing the hoop and then taking the ball inside. Look at that, just beautiful step-through move, slipping through both defenders. Just watch out when she finds her three-point shot.
Sabally 1 of 12 thus far, but we know that shot is there and will eventually drop. Thornton had her hand up ready for the pass. But then when the pass got there, she forgot to put it back down. And Sabally knocks that out of bounds. Aces basketball. You know, one of the things that really stood out, talking to different members of the Team USA team that lost to Oregon in that exhibition game during the winter, was that for them, the player who just absolutely shocked them with how great she was Satu Sabally. And playing against that Oregon team, just remarkable the reactions they had to how talented she is.
Yeah, her ceiling is really, really high. Once she, you know, becomes even more consistent, hits the three-point shot. There was times this past season where she was struggling, and Kelly Graves, her Oregon coach, sat down with her, watched video, told her, I need you to play harder, I need you to go stronger to the offensive glass, and that hit home, and she immediately started playing with more effort, and the production came right away. So a very coachable young woman.
Moved to Berlin when she was 9, was the only girl on her first youth team. Went to Oregon, starred there, and now with the Dallas Wings, part of a young core in Dallas. It's going to be a foul against Dallas as Agumbawale took some rough contact there from Jackie Young.
Yeah, from her former Notre Dame teammate.
That was the number 24, Enrique Agumbawale.
Jackie Young made a living doing this when she was in college. A big, strong frame, oftentimes finishing at the rim and getting the and one.
Hey, let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. NBA tomorrow, on Wednesday rather, CBS Sportsnet. It'll be Minnesota and the Liberty, and then on NBA TV that same night, it'll be the Wizards and these, excuse me, Mystics and these Las Vegas Aces.
Want to do that one again?
That wasn't live or anything, was it? Agumbawale unable to hit the three. Las Vegas turns it over, the save to no avail. I'm Ron Burgundy. (17-6), Vegas in front. 3:25 to go in this first quarter. Harris turning the corner and laying it in.
Harris has had a lot of success doing that already early in this WNBA season, turning the corner, going to her right.
Oh, good hands there on the steal from Harrison. The blow-by and the lay for Agumbawale. First field goal of the game for Enrique Agumbawale, who scored 20+ in each of the final 11 games last season for rookie year. That'll drop home for Danielle Robinson.
Enrique Agumbawale, such a talented scorer, and she's coming off a game where she only shot 5 of 22. Brian Hagler telling us before the game, this year she's at the top of everybody's scouting report. She's having different defensive looks sent at her as A'ja Wilson sends that out of bounds. And she is going to have to learn how to read defense, but that time in transition, she's never had trouble reading the defenses when she gets out and can run.
Yeah, Brian Hagler said he wants her to attack closeouts a little more. Also said he doesn't want her thinking too much. So doesn't want her, you know, too much assessing. Is this a good shot? Is this not? But, you know, playing her game.
Yeah, can't be passive. Still needs to attack, but, you know, kind of maybe be a little bit smarter in the moments where she does.
Here's Jefferson. Flipping it out to Agumbawale. Off the mark on a three. Good effort on the glass. Kept alive by Katie Lou Samuelson. Make that Bella Allery, who kept it alive. As Jefferson misses the jumper. That leaner is short, long board. Here comes Mariah Jefferson. Nice little shake to the right and in for the lay.
Been a luxury for Brian Agler to have Mariah Jefferson and Ty Harris as kind of the two-headed monster from the point guard position. Both of them bringing different skill sets, both very efficient.
Jackie Young, Hamby, Rogers, Robinson, and Swords, the 5 on the floor for Vegas, as Robinson curls that in, plus the foul.
Danielle Robinson, still one of the speedier players in the league, and that's saying something when Mariah Jefferson is the one defending her, using her length and her body to be able to get the shot off and finish.
Got one shot. One.
And Robinson completes the three-point play. Vegas 5 of 5 from the line in this first. They're shooting 61.5% from the floor. And a 10-point Las Vegas lead. Agumbawale, the shimmy, the jumper, the bucket.
That's where she's really good. Getting by the first line of defense, and before the big can come up and help, just stopping on a dime.
Agumbawale, the 5th overall pick in 2019. Rogers flipped it across court, taken away by Allery. Here's Jefferson to the bucket for the easy 2. Give Katie Lou Samuelson the assist and the steal. And 4 straight points from Dallas. It's a 6-point game. And now a turnover from Vegas and another opportunity for Dallas.
Arike Agumbawale gets a little shake going side to side. There's not many players who are going to be able to do anything about that. And then a good job, Katie Lou Samuelson getting a hand on the basketball. Mariah Jefferson so quick end to end.
Agumbawale using the screen from Allery and then hitting the jumper.
Same thing again, and I keep running that because it's Swartz who's on defense, and she is going to have a hard time contesting Agumbawale with her quickness.
10-second difference, game and shot clock. Hamby backing in, flipping out, Robinson hits. Danielle Robinson is 3 of 3 from the floor, 7 points in this first.
Yeah, Brian Agler recognizes this. He continues to have Agumbawale with the ball in her hands, especially as the quarter winds down.
Dallas started 1 of 8 from the floor, 8 of 14 since. Agumbawale weaving, taking, in and out. Hamby the rebound, a chance to chuck. The leaner gets blocked. Not sure it got off in time regardless. That'll do it for the first quarter. Vegas built a double-digit lead, but then Arike Agumbawale went to work.
When Agumbawale has a big switch on to her, eyes wide open.
ESPN's coverage of the WNBA is brought to you by AT&T 5G and Taco Bell. Order ahead and pick up your favorites at our contactless drive-thru.
13-2, and Brian Agler called a timeout. What have you put together since then to get back in this game?
You know, we were basically more aggressive, but most of all today we're playing for Sandra Bland, and that's all I'm going to say today. You know, we're honoring her name, we're honoring her story for the injustice that has happened to her. No one has been, you know, persecuted or at all. So we're playing for her name, saying her name today, and everyone has to pay attention to her story.
Thank you so much. Sandra Bland, of course, 28-year-old woman who was found dead in police custody after a routine traffic stop. Back to you guys.
Well, Holly, as we saw in our earlier game, Satu Sabli, part of the Social Justice Council that the WNBA and the Players Association have put together for this season in Bradenton, and we continue to hear those sentiments from all players throughout this league and will throughout the season.
They're not going to stop talking just because we get into the meat of the season. The women have made social justice a priority in the offseason, and it continues here.
Allery gets fouled on the putback and will go to the line to shoot 2. Let's check back in with Holly.
And I just wanted to be clear, you know, Sandra Bland, it's coming up on the 5-year anniversary of her death. She was a 28-year-old African-American woman who, after a routine traffic stop, was later found dead in police custody after being illegally arrested. And the opening weekend of the WNBA, all of the players were dedicating the games and that opening weekend to Breonna Taylor. Well, now they have turned their attention to Sandra Bland. We saw her being honored before the game. They are going to continue to say her name, say the names of these women who've been the victims of police brutality.
And you see the name of Breonna Taylor on every single one of their jerseys throughout this season, which was the idea of Angel McCautry, who just missed that jump shot. That three from Katie Lou Samuelson is off the mark, and a foul on the rebound. Kayla Thornton went storming in there, drew the whistle.
Bella Allery continuing to be impactful in her minutes, already with 3 rebounds in 3 minutes. She played really well in Dallas's last game. She's long, athletic, can block shots and get to the offensive glass.
And she remains on the floor while Katie Lou Samuelson checks out now. Thank you, Brian Agler.
You sure?
Here's Jefferson finding Allery. Sets up a corner 3 off the mark for Thornton. It springs Hamby. Help came to Jefferson, and then a foul on Sabali, and that will be her second.
The help came from all the way across the floor, the defender of Danielle Robinson, because she has not been a consistent three-point shooter throughout the course of her career. Didn't even start attempting very many of them until she got to Minnesota the last couple of seasons. So even though she's the farthest rotation, that's where they're going to help from.
She is career 13% from three-point range. As Wilson misfires on the jumper, Sabali the rebound. Sabali kicks to Allery, her 3 off the mark, and the rebound controlled by Vegas. Fling down the floor, Wilson able to make the grab, stay in bounds, couldn't hit the fadeaway. And here comes Sabali, taking off as soon as she boards it. Jefferson, another nice little shimmy. Ogunbowale doesn't get the roll. Wilson trying to get the angle. Cups it to McBride. Her 3, no. Hamby's turnaround won't go. And now Ogunbowale says, let's calm things down a little bit.
Every single player like, thank you, Enrique, as they start walking down the floor. That was quite a stretch.
Ogunbowale. It ends up with Allery, a 3 off the mark. And Dallas now is 0 for 13 from downtown. Asia Wilson doesn't get a whistle or a bucket. Thornton gets clobbered. And a foul is called against Angel McCautry. That'll be her first.
Bella Allery's length is a problem on the defensive end of the floor. She did a really good job defensively in their last game against Tiara McCowan when Brian Agler was looking for answers on the defensive end, and then offensively she was active as well. She's going to continue to get more minutes if she produces like this.
Bella Allery, the 5th pick of this year's draft. To Rebecca's point, she played more minutes Friday than she had the first 2 games combined. Sabali, the crossover, good hands by McCautry. Got in there and knocked it off of Sabali.
You can't forget about Angel McCautry, especially as a help defender. Oftentimes it's shooting through and getting the steal, but she has quick hands to disrupt as well.
McCautry 10th all-time in WNBA history in steals. And McBride gets that to drop to end the scoreless drought for Las Vegas. Ty Harris now operating the point for Dallas. Ogunbowale, no. And Enrique Ogunbowale now 3 of 9 from the floor. That gets deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with Vegas.
Kayla McBride kind of coming off the curl, does a nice job getting in the lane, floating. Each game that she plays, she'll get her legs under her a little bit more, get her wind back a little bit more. That's going to be really important for Vegas to have success.
McBride, a 3-time All-Star, as McCautry gets fouled by Harris. And Angel McCautry will shoot 2.
Harris, that's her first.
It's been really fun watching Angel McCautry perform the way she has so far this season. We talked about it during our first game today, seeing Diana Taurasi looking back healthy and like the Diana that we're used to seeing. It's the same case with Angel McCautry. She's done some remarkable things through the course of her career, but when a player misses an entire season due to an ACL, a player who's as athletic and quick as McCautry is, you don't know how they're going to come back, and thrilled to see what she's been able to do so far.
And Bill Lambier told us he actually has been surprised just how great McCautry is on the offensive side of things. He said, you know, I knew obviously she was good, but watching her every day, she's even better than I realized. Sabali kicks to the corner. That 3 is good. The first 3 of the game for Dallas. Kayla Thornton hits it and ends a string of 13 straight misses from deep for the Wings. Hamby gets the whistle, and De'Erica Hamby will shoot 2. As Stu Du is called for the personal. A 30-23 second quarter Vegas lead as we step aside. The win! Ogunbowale for the win. Good! Arike Ogunbowale wins the national championship for Notre Dame! Well, shots don't get bigger than the ones Arike Ogunbowale hit in the semifinals and then the finals of the Final Four. Her final year at Notre Dame, and you see last season averaged over 19 points. So far this year at 18. And you mentioned it, Rebecca. The key will be, you know, sort of finding how she can gain some efficiency.
Yeah.
As the offensive weapon that she clearly is.
Yeah, that's the #1 thing, because coaches will say, you know, we're all right with Arike getting 20 if it's on 20 shots.
Right.
And there have been nights where that's been the line.
Stu Du. Gray. 3 is off. Sabali kept it alive for a moment, but it's out of bounds to the Aces. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, you guys are talking about Arike Ogunbowale's offensive prowess, and she had that so much last year as a rookie. She's the only player other than Maya Moore in WNBA history who had 4 straight 30-point games. She can score, but to your point, Brian Agler knows she can score. He doesn't want to limit her aggressiveness or her natural flair, but he does want her to be more efficient. So it's going to be really interesting. She opened the game today with 2 points on a drive straight to the basket. See her mix that in a little bit more.
And she got it more efficient as the season went on last year. Her August was much more efficient than her June. And this year, though, teams are very aware of what they're going to scheme to do to try to limit, as we said, limit her efficiency.
Kayla Thornton off on a 3. And Dallas now 1 of 17 from deep. This coming off a game Friday in which they really struggled from deep. They were 3 of 25 as McCautry can't wedge it in. The 3 for 25 was the 3rd worst percentage with at least 25 attempts from 3 in WNBA history. That corner 3 is way off the mark.
We'll be seeing a record-breaking performance.
You could say they're picking up where they left off. Hamby lays it in, an 11-point Las Vegas lead. And Dallas will take a timeout. The defense has stiffened a bit for Dallas, but unable to get the offense going. Vegas with the 11-point edge, 4:16 to go in the second quarter.
not a pickup game. 4 down, 4 down, 4 down. Who's the wing? 4 down. Trail it. If you want to have success in this league, people don't give you. You got to earn your respect. You got to earn it.
Like the guidance there from Brian Agler, who is the only coach in WNBA history to win a title for 2 different teams, winning with the Storm in Seattle and then more recently with the Sparks in LA.
He was telling us earlier today, especially with a young team, he said we just need to keep improving. You have to teach every moment, but at the same time, don't throw too much at them that their heads are spinning.
You could see Brian Agler feels like Angel McCoughtry hit that last. To the naked eye, I thought he had a point there, but it will be Vegas ball. Yeah, it's a totally different challenge for Brian Agler, right? Coaching this team versus the ones he's had in the past. As McBride hits the 3, and the Vegas lead has swelled to 13. Samuelson gives it up. Jefferson trying to get an angle on Allen and was able to wedge a whistle. So 2 free throws coming for Mariah Jefferson.
But only the 4th foul called on Vegas. They've had a relatively clean game so far on the defensive end of the floor. You ready for the promo, Ryan?
The moment you've all been waiting for.
Let's see how you do.
Tuesday from the IMG bubble in Bradenton, Florida. 2 more WNBA games for you on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi, and the Mercury take on the Atlanta Dream at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And then the Sun, led by the league's top scorer, Dewana Bonner, square off against Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart, and the Storm.
Pretty good.
Progress. It's all Brian Agler wants to see.
That's right.
The rejection from Duke. Here comes Agumbawale, 3 of 9 from the floor. Will pull and bank it too strong. What do you think about shots like that from Arike, Rebecca?
It's tough because, you know, they come down, nobody else has gotten a touch. But at the same time, when she gets hot, they can really give your team momentum. I'll tell you this, if you are a active, great offensive rebounder, you want to play with Arike because there are going to be a lot of shots to go get. We saw that from Satu Sabali in their last game with 7 offensive boards.
Sabali now with 4 points to go with 4 rebounds. She is 1 of 5 from the floor. Dallas is a team shooting under 28%. Vegas, meanwhile, shooting 48%. Here's Asia Wilson. Tried for the repost. Instead, Allen finds Wilson. Beautifully done by Lindsay Allen, hanging to the last possible moment.
Asia Wilson will work the entire possession. You talked about the repost. She did that strong and then cut to the basket.
A close quarters 2-woman game that didn't bear fruit there for Duke and Agumbawale. Jackie Young lays it home. The #1 overall pick in 2019 gives Vegas its largest lead of the game. Sabali, surrounded, passes out of it, was able to squirt it to the corner, and Duke finishes the drive.
Good job by Dallas, not just to settle for the 3. That's what Vegas's defense wants.
Good hands by Duke. Swords puts it in. Carolyn Swords, who was a member of the Aces front office, a retired player, ended up being fired, let go during the COVID cuts, and then all of a sudden Bill Lambier needed a big. He went back to Carol and said, hey, you want to play? You're a pro, we could use you. She said yes. Meanwhile, Asia Wilson always says yes to keep on cutting and finishing. Brian Agler trying to get his Dallas team to find some footing in the final minute and 40 seconds of this first half. Meanwhile, Bill Laimbeer has the look of the wubble.
I think the wubble takes offense to that.
I think it's kind of working for Bill.
Do you?
I do. I do. Sabali leaves it short. Good effort by Allery, who's on the floor again with Katie Lou Samuelson. Agumbawale, Mariah Jefferson, and Sabali for Dallas. Jefferson make it Agumbawale wiggling through, couldn't finish. Rebound Allery out to Samuelson, who connects on the three. Just the second three of the game for Dallas. They had missed 18 of their first 19.
And again, credit Bella Allery for hitting the offensive glass and having the wherewithal to pass it back out to Lou.
Hamby traveled as Vegas turns it over. Well, and if you're Dallas, all right, here's a chance to make it a little more manageable going into the half. You're coming off a game on Friday in which you were down double digits at the half and then came back to win.
That's the positive when you have an inconsistent team, is that within a game, if they're playing poorly or shooting poorly, they can turn it around.
Sabali, good footwork, just couldn't finish. Gets it back and is able to stick the landing. It's back to single digits. And the steal from Allery. Pass ahead to Sabali. She gets the whistle, and Satu Sabali will shoot two. De'Erica Hamby called for her first personal.
Wait, everybody listen.
Coming up, stay tuned for the WNBA halftime report presented by State Farm. John Brigley in studio is going to take us around an active Sunday in the WNBA. That's coming up on the State Farm halftime report.
Stuck the landing on that one, Ryan.
Improving. A 9-second difference, game and shot clock. Nice little burst here from Dallas at the end of the half. McBride's leaner. That's going to be a charge. Another turnover from Vegas and a chance for Dallas to cut a little closer.
It's 11 turnovers now for Vegas. 14 points off of them by Dallas. Right, Jefferson goes up on her tippy toes.
Not sure she was really set there before the release happened. Almost looked like Jefferson slid underneath McBride, which would have then been a foul against Mariah Jefferson, but it was called an offensive foul on the floor.
Yeah, she was leaning in, Mariah Jefferson was.
Looked like McBride had already started that upward motion as Jefferson slid under her. And is it going to be a jump ball?
That's exactly what Bill Laimbeer is asking.
It is. So a double foul and a jump ball.
A charge at the same time of foul on Bella Allery?
I think the officials, I think one official had a block while one official had a charge. And so instead you get the double foul and the jump at center court. Because of the difference of opinion between officials when that happens, it's then called a double foul. And that's why you get the jump. So look like One had block, one had charge. You have a conversation about it, and there you go.
All right.
Dallas ends up winning the jump. Shot clock turned off. Wings on a 9-2 run over the final 2 minutes of this half. Jefferson lost it, but a foul. And free throws coming for Dallas.
Because I'm loud. There's no crowd.
Well, Bill Lambier giving us some added entertainment.
No promo?
We've passed that test, okay? Jefferson hits both free throws. An 11-2 Dallas run. Danielle Robinson gets it off, but cannot connect. Strong finish to the second quarter for Dallas after Vegas had controlled much of that first half. Kayla McBride, 9 points to lead the way for Vegas. A back and forth affair early. Vegas then took control. Dallas a good burst late to make it a 5-point game. In Bradenton, Florida at IMG Academy, get ready to start the third quarter between the Las Vegas Aces and the Dallas Wings. Vegas a 42-37 lead. As we welcome you back inside our studios in Bristol, Connecticut. Hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. We'll check in with Holly inside the Wubble in just a bit. You know, neither team really found a rhythm offensively in that first half, but Kayla McBride, who's a wild card of sorts for Vegas, she did show some good signs in that first half of the Aces.
She looked good. She led all scorers with 9 points, and most importantly, she was efficient. This is a player who is very good from the three-point line, can also put the ball on the floor. That was the fancy move, behind the back and then pull up for three. And she was good and effective at knowing when to take her shots, and she was able to hit them when she did, sprinkled in a little bit of dribble moves as well. Kayla McBride looking really good, probably the best she's been so far in this young season.
McBride thus far leading the way with 9 points, 4 of 5 from the floor. Meanwhile, Dallas, they really struggled from the floor in that first half. Shot at 13 of 43, that's 30%, and they were 2 of 20 from 3, which is just 10% as we have an early whistle. And here are the numbers. Dallas got off to a tough start, missed their first 6 field goals, and you see the way they've struggled from 3 over the last 2 games now. It wouldn't be the start of the third quarter if we didn't check in with Holly Rowe. As Swords lays that in for the first bucket of the second half. Let's go to Holly in the Wubble.
Well, if you're looking at it a glass half full, all of those misses resulted in some rebounds. And the bright spot off the bench for the Dallas Wings in that game was Bella Allery. She came in, and of their 18 first half rebounds, she had 6 of them herself. She really gave them some second chance opportunities and provided a great lift for the Dallas Wings off the bench.
Especially if you're a post player on a team that, you know, getting the ball into the post is not the priority. Great job. The shot was out of Lindsay Allen. If you want to get a touch, you go get the rebound. You know, if you're not going to get the touch by the guards passing it directly into you, you just got to go get it.
So Dallas starts the half with a made 3, and then Lindsay Allen with one of her own. As that's thrown away, right to McCautry, was anticipating it. McCautry swims in for 2. The first field goal of the game for Angel McCautry. You know, Bill Lambier, we talked to him before the game, he did expect to see some tired legs and some sloppy play as a result of this being the 4th game in 7 days for these teams. thought after another week, probably, you'd stop seeing that, but he thought you're going to feel this effect for the next week.
An interesting thing, every coach that we've talked to leading up to today has talked about how a typical shoot-around is instead a walkthrough. On the off day or the morning of the games, teams are walking through things. They are not going full speed. Angel McCautry, her best is full speed in transition. Great job with the step through, knowing she's giving up size to Sabali.
Wilson, 8 points thus far, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. You know, the other part of this, when it comes to the condensed schedule and the health aspect of things, specifically as it pertains to Las Vegas, you know, A'ja Wilson, Angel McCautry, 2 players who dealt with injuries last season in different ways. A'ja Wilson still played a good chunk of the year, but she had recurring, you know, foot ankle issues, and Angel McCautry missed essentially the entire season. You want to be careful you don't put too much on them too quickly, too, as you rush back into this year.
Yeah, without question. I mean, the number one thing is going to be keeping your players healthy. Number 2 is keeping them as fresh as possible.
Swords gets fouled by Du, and Carolyn Swords will shoot 2. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, you guys are talking about just the brutal schedule, you know, 4 games, 7 days, but Las Vegas does have a little bit of help on the way. Sierra Burdick is here in Bradenton. She is currently in quarantine, and they are hoping if she continues to have those negative COVID tests that she would be cleared from quarantine to join them for practice on Tuesday. So another big, long body. She's a strong physical rebounder, great frame, can really score. So that will be some good news to have another body off the bench for Bill Laimbeer and the Las Vegas Aces.
For much of the 2-week training camp, Vegas only had 8 healthy players. So that means before they were allowed to scrimmage other teams, they couldn't even go 5-on-5 in practice. Certainly not a typical training camp for any of the teams this year.
A 10-point Vegas lead, 7:44 to go in this third as that ball gets wiped off. Now it's ready. Wilson, a little too strong, gets it back and gets fouled as Dallas, seeing their fouls pile up in the early minutes of this second half. That's already 4 team fouls against Dallas, meaning Vegas will shoot the rest of the way this quarter. Hey, tonight on ABC and the ESPN app, we'll have another NBA game for you from the bubble at Disney. Our primetime game as Giannis and the Bucks taking on James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and the Rockets. A special NBA countdown gets you hyped. Set at 8 Eastern.
I'm hyped already.
There you go. It is back. Basketball back in all its glory between the W and now the NBA. Basically, you know, just keep it locked on ESPN. You got action all the time now. That corner 3 off the mark for McBride. Here comes Thornton. Flicking it to the perimeter. Good drive and finish from Mariah Jefferson.
That's what Dallas is going to need to get stops on one end and try to get things in their transition or secondary because they're struggling in the half court. A'ja Wilson is not. And she is money from the short corner area, 12 to 15 feet.
A'ja Wilson, the first pick of the 2018 draft. Playing against a couple of her teammates in college on Dallas today in Ty Harris and Alicia Gray. Good trap here from Dallas. And McBride turns it over. Nice pressure D from the wings. And Agumbawale takes a hard foul. As she was trying to get going in transition, Lindsay Allen laid the wood.
Lindsay Allen, that's her second. First team foul.
So we saw Arike Agumbawale have some success attacking in the lane. See if Dallas will once again look to get some dribble penetration offensively.
Ty Harris, guarded by Allen. Allery cuts into the lane, hooked it up wildly. Rebound taken by Hamby. There's Jackie Young, 2019's #1 overall pick. And a travel as Vegas turns it over. That has been an issue in this game for Las Vegas. 14 turnovers now.
They average just over 15 per game on the season.
And that's why you haven't seen more of an offensive output thus far from Bill Lambier's bunch. They're shooting 53% from the floor, but just haven't had as many possessions. Agumbawale flings a pass away from Sabali. 6 to shoot, Ty Harris into Sabali. Turn, hook, offensive foul before the shot. As Dallas turns it over for just the 7th time.
I like the instinct, though. With shot clock running down, for her to go to the block, post up. She's had some success with her up and under moves inside. Elbow up, gets Young right in the face.
So far, Sabali in this game, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 fouls. She is 3 of 10 from the floor, 0 of 4 from 3. Wilson, the runner, gets blocked.
You don't see that very often.
More good D from Bella Allery. Agumbawale floats a pass. Arike Agumbawale pushes it home.
When she settles for the mid-range pull-up jumper, that's what Brian Agler doesn't love if she has the ability to go all the way to the rim.
Dallas trying to catch up with it on the break. And Agumbawale was unable to after Allery had come up with a steal. Timeout on the floor, 8-point game. Brian Agler needs more of this from Arike.
And even when she's struggling from the field, Arike will continue to look to be active in attack. Pays off there.
And we see Arike Agumbawale of the Dallas Wings making some noise, and she's got a fun family story here. She is here in Bradenton, Florida, and her brother, Dare, is playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just opening NFL training camp in the last few days. She was able to come down and visit him for about 6 hours, say hello, get a little something to eat before she had to report to the Wubble. He was sporting the WNBA hoodie on opening day, make sure that his little sister knows he is supporting her. He's a running back for Tampa Bay. Everybody down here very excited because Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, a little rejuvenation with Tampa Bay. But I love the support that he has shown his sister throughout her career, and that they got to catch up for a few minutes before she reported to the safe site.
Very cool, Holly. And no doubt, everybody really excited to see what the Bucs will do. And I'm sure Dare excited to see what his sister is going to do in her 2nd season after the way she finished her rookie season. No, pretty incredible, but Agumbawale has a streak of 14 straight games with 15 or more points. It's the longest streak since Maya Moore had one of 14 straight in 2018. The last player with 15 or more straight, Skylar Diggins-Smith back in 2014.
It's been a while.
Agumbawale with 10 points so far today. Good hands from Jackie Young. And it'll be a jump ball.
Alicia Gray taking it in, and yeah, you're right. Great job by Jackie Young to come over and secure the ball.
Another Notre Dame star. Young, the first pick of the draft the season ago, with Agumbawale the 5th after they both won a national title. Lou Samuelson able to save it. Thornton gives it up to Gray. Her 3 is off. Nice job by Wilson, just using her length to secure the rebound. Good touch feed from McBride. Young tees it up and knocks it down from 3. Just the third 3 of the game for Las Vegas. Rebecca told you they don't attempt many. They've attempted just 8.
Jackie Young's first attempt and make from the three-point line this season.
12-point Las Vegas lead. Katie Lou Samuelson leaves it short. And a whistle underneath against Dallas on the loose ball. Dallas is over the limit, so free throws for Vegas.
Jackie Young with plenty of space and time to get it off. I mean, she's known in college, her strength being taking it to the bucket and finishing inside. And that's an area, again, of growth for her, is to become a consistent three-point shooter.
Rebecca, how about Jackie Young? I mean, we know in this league, #1 overall picks, they move the needle usually. Brian Agler just talking to us today about how rare it is to see a championship team in this league not have multiple #1 overall picks. How does Jackie Young fit into things? Where can her career go with this Las Vegas Aces team?
Well, I think Bill Lambier used that #1 pick knowing that it was a player who was going to have to complement Liz Cambage, who played a season ago, and Asia Wilson. And Jackie Young, a big guard with a lot of potential, who can distribute the basketball, who can rebound and defend. So her role, he said when she was drafted, she's not going to get Rookie of the Year because she's not going to get free throw attempts in order to do that. I'm sorry, field goal attempts in order to do that. Her job was to come in and lead the show with those big players, and that will continue to be her role.
Agumbawale cutting through the D, laying it in beautifully. When she has a little bit of a runway, just so dangerous. Robinson, Young, Rogers, Hamby, and Swords on the floor for Las Vegas as Hamby gets the bucket and the foul. Strong putback from Dearica Hamby. Last year's 6th Woman of the Year.
That's what Dearica Hamby does. She comes in off the bench, providing energy. You get it energy when you go to the offensive glass. Right there, just gets it over Sabally, finishing for the and one. She's surrounded, 4 yellow jerseys, still able to finish.
4th foul on Satu Sabally. And Hamby completes the 3-point play. The lead is now 15 for Vegas, their largest of the game. Allery thought about the 3, will put it on the floor and looked very adept at doing so.
It's as if Brian Agler told them in a huddle to start attacking the rim. We're not shooting well from 3, give some pump fakes and drive it in. That's what we've seen the last few possessions. And you have to respect it because she is a capable 3-point shooter, but gets the step and a nice finish.
Vegas turns it over. +17 turnovers now for Las Vegas. Dallas a +7 in points off of turnovers. Vegas is shot at 53.5%. Dallas under 36%. Allery using the footwork, couldn't find the angle. Good D from Swords. Robinson springs the break. Young using the body gets the foul, and Jackie Young will shoot 2.
We were just talking about it with Jackie Young. That's where she can do some damage. That time leaks out in transition. Strong, getting to the rim.
Hey, let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA national TV schedule. CBS Sportsnet on Wednesday night, the Liberty and the Lynx, NBA TV. On Wednesday at 8 Eastern, it's Vegas and Washington. For more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app.
And how about the Minnesota Lynx? Starting the season 3-1, they've had some players with injuries. Lexi Brown did not play the last game. She's in concussion protocol. Shanice Johnson has gone down with an injured hamstring in their last game. And Minnesota finding a way to win.
Yeah, 3-1 start for Cheryl Reeves' crew as Agumbawale hits the jumper. And in this kind of season, you know, Minnesota could surprise some people as well.
Yeah.
They're well coached. They have enough talent.
Sylvia Fowles is having an MVP type season so far.
Swords can't get it to go, out of bounds off Hamby. And it's Dallas basketball.
That is a good defensive possession for Dallas. That is not Sword's strength, facing the basket and creating.
I think what'll be interesting, Rebecca, is sorting through some of those teams, right? Who, like a Vegas, a Phoenix, Minnesota. What is the ceiling? How high can they go, especially with some of the irregularities of this season?
Can Washington continue to perform the way they have?
Exactly. Because Chicago and Seattle, they have their horses. They're really talented. You expect them to be towards the top. Those other teams, a little uncertain. Well, last game, Dallas shot 3 from 25 from 3. Right now, they are 3 of 25 from 3. Young fading away, can't get it to go. It was also interesting how content Vegas was to not go for the 2-for-1, as that foul was called against Vegas. Danielle Robinson perplexed, and I can't blame her. And you could hear Bill Lambier saying that foul was on us. I mean,
Agumbawale led with the left arm.
Yeah. That certainly seemed like it should have been on Agumbawale and not Danielle Robinson. Dallas will be able to hold for 1. Shot clock turned off, third quarter winding down. Agumbawale fading away and hitting the jumper. 16 points for Arike Agumbawale, who extends into 15 straight games with at least 15 points. Longest streak in the W since Skylar Diggins-Smith in 2014. But Jackie Young and the Aces with a 10-point lead after 3. Fourth quarter action is coming up next.
Then every time they start to pull a little bit too close, you guys get some separation. What do you like about how your team is running it right now?
You know, we're just sticking to our game plan. I think we kind of got lost in the first half. We let them get a lot of rebounds. We turned the ball over a lot. And so this half, we're really just focusing on taking care of the basketball, and just executing plays.
All right, there's a lot of Gamecocks out here. There are 2 on their team, 1 on yours. What are you saying to those youngsters over there?
I'm not even worried about them right now. They're like the last thing on my list. But, you know, it's always good to see fellow Gamecocks out here. We work hard to get here, and it's just fun to see them out here, especially Ty, being a rookie and leading her team. So super excited for her.
All right, thanks, AJ.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, 2017 national champs, Holly Rowe right in the mix. Asia Wilson. Head coach Dawn Staley done such an unbelievable job with that program. And we mentioned the other Gamecocks here who Asia's going up against today. Alicia Gray and Ty Harris. Both were part of that championship team with Asia Wilson. Mallory has gotten a lot of minutes here for Dallas. She's been a bright spot for the Wings. 2 to shoot. Mallory's going to have to pull. Did not. And it's a shot clock violation as Dallas turns it over.
Mallory did not see Alicia Gray slicing in from the left baseline. She was open.
These teams will all get a much-needed Monday off from action after a loaded week of action as Asia Wilson lays it in. All these teams playing 4 games in 7 days. And we'll get a little recovery time and maybe even a little bit of practice time, too. Vegas, a 70-56 lead. Nice execution here from the Aces.
Great high-low. You know I like the big-to-big pass, Ryan.
That he keeps it real. He tells you, you know, what you need to work on. If you're not having a good day, he's telling you, hey, pick it up. You know, I love that about him. Can't really point out anything bad other than he needs a haircut. You know what I mean? That's about it.
Angel McCoughtry on the highs and lows of her coach, Bill Lambier. And here's some of the highs and lows. He's always had it pretty high and tight, a little shaggy in the Bad Boys era, but right now, very shaggy. You will have noticed that he is wearing a headband on the sideline. This is in solidarity, though, with his sisters. On this Las Vegas Aces team, there's no hairstylist here in the Wubble. That is the complaint that the ladies have. He is saying he's going to wear this headband and keep speaking out against no salon here on the campus.
Well, you know what? Solidarity. I think the look kind of works for Bill. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten to it sooner.
Is that saying you like it?
Yeah, I'm saying I like it for him. Like, he's a gruff, gritty dude, bad boy, Pistons, you know, intimidating guy. The unkempt look is like an intimidating look. Okay. Du hits from 3. It's Du connecting from 3. Her first of the game and the 4th 3 in 26 attempts for Dallas. See if they have a comeback left in them as McBride misfires. We saw Dallas go on a burst at the end of the 3rd to tighten things up. Here's Ty Harris. And Harris draws the foul.
It's been interesting to watch over the course of the couple games. Brian Agler figuring out which lineups he likes, which ones are most effective. And one of the things we've seen is late in games, in particular in the Indiana game, when it's close, Ty Harris was the point guard that was on the floor.
One of the things Brian Agler talked about when it comes to that combination at point guard of Ty Harris and Mariah Jefferson, he really complimented their college coaches.
Yes.
He complimented at UConn, Gino Auriemma, and then with Ty Harris, Dawn Staley. And he said, you know, you can just tell how well coached they were in college and how amenable they are to coaching here, how their basketball IQ is so helpful for him, and the way they support each other, which he thought was such a key factor as they go through this sort of even split of playing time. Asia Wilson stops wisely, banks it in, plus the foul.
How about Asia Wilson? She could have gone up and finished on the initial move, and instead gives the little fake so that she can get a 3rd point from the free throw line. She assesses it. Which way do I go? Goes to her left. Yeah, just the head fake. Gets her to the free throw line. Beautifully done.
Holly?
You guys see the versatility of Asia Wilson, but what was really cool is right before that, you didn't see it on the replay, but she clapped her hands. She knew that she had an advantage on a student do, and so she said, hey, right here, get me the ball. And her teammates, of course, listened to her. She was able to make that move to the basket, get the and one. Her sense for what, when is really looking beautiful in the WNBA as she continues to develop in her 3rd year.
Holly, how about the atmosphere there as you're in the arena? You're inside the Wubble. Give us a little flavor, a feel for what it's been like during game action, the intensity of the competition, what it feels like sitting there for the action.
Okay, you know, it is a little unusual because it's quiet, and you guys can probably hear that on TV a little bit, but they have great music. They've brought in a DJ that makes it lively. I would say the only uncomfortable times are during free throws when it is dead silent. I was so grateful when they added DJ Khalid's voice when they make one, it says, "Another one." I was very grateful for that little addition. So we had some noise during free throws. Another one.
And Holly was dead on about Asia clapping for the ball.
Right here, you see her at the bottom of the screen clapping for it. And because it's quiet in there, that's enough to get your teammates' attention. In a normal season, in a loud arena, your teammates aren't going to hear you clapping.
And Holly Rowe right there to see the clap and then report on it. Agumbawale hooks that in. 18 points for Arike Agumbawale.
That's the thing with Arike. She was really struggling early on with her shot, her field goal percentage, but when she gets hot, she comes alive so quickly.
Canby traveled, and Vegas turns it over.
I mean, the shake, her ability to get to the rim, strong. She's been looking a little bit more to get to the rim instead of just taking the mid-range or deep threes.
Timeout on the floor. We'll step aside briefly. 6 minutes to go. Vegas by 11. Kings and Aces fans already have 349,807 total taps for this game. And the team with the most taps at the end of the game wins. Go to WNBA.com to check the leaderboard and see how your team stacks up against the rest of the league.
I was tapping during the first game.
You were?
I haven't tapped yet in this game, though, I have to admit.
I thought that's why the taps grew as much as they have. It's a lot of taps.
Yeah, in the first game, it was every time there was a foul called, I tapped, and that was significant. A little less so in this game.
Dallas trying to make a push. They trailed by as many as 15 moments ago. Do from three? No.
Great box out by Kayla McBride inside, giving up size to Kayla Thornton.
Jackie Young dragged back out. Sabali still on the bench with 5 fouls for Dallas. 5 to shoot. Robinson from 3. Not usually her forte. Couldn't hit. Thornton the board. Agumbawale gives it up. Nice ball fake. That 3 short. And the rebound to Las Vegas. And a foul on the drive from McBride.
Yeah, she could have settled and taken the pull-up 3 in transition. Instead, takes it to the rim, getting to the free throw line, which everybody on the floor appreciates because it gives them a moment of rest.
Rebecca, do you see it like Bill Lambier sees it, that fatigue will be a somewhat significant factor for the next week especially, and then it may not be for the rest of the year? Then all of a sudden the legs you know are under you, you're more settled in and you're used to the routine? Or you think this is going to be a factor throughout the entire season?
Yeah, the latter. I think it's going to be a factor throughout the entire season, you know, especially when teams have their stretches where they only have one day in between games. I think it's going to help teams significantly when they get to the stretch where they get a couple of days off in a row. But especially teams like Vegas that are veteran-laden teams, this is something they're going to be dealing with throughout the entire season. Some players might benefit, like Kayla McBride as she works herself into better shape, but bumps and bruises, all of that are going to affect you in a more significant way than in past years where you would have more time off.
McBride with attending to for infection control. And now she will go to the line. Kayla McBride, now in her 7th season, was the 3rd pick back in 2014. A 3-time All-Star. She's been an All-Star each of the last 2 years. One of 3 Notre Dame players on this Las Vegas roster. Jackie Young, Lindsay Allen, the others. McBride hits both. Mariah Jefferson, 9 points, 2 assists in her 17 minutes. Good first step from Mariah Jefferson, who blew the bunny. And the rebound grabbed by Asia Wilson. McBride straight on 3. Side rims out to Dallas.
Can't lose sight of Asia Wilson. She continues to work hard in the post, and I think Vegas needs to continue to at least give her a look. That last possession, I thought she had Katie Samuelson in a position where she could have gotten the ball and scored.
Wilson with 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Asia Wilson, the 2nd leading scorer in the WNBA thus far this season. Only DeWanna Bonner has scored more. Good hands from Hamby. Taken by Young. Kicked by Agumbawale. Back to Allen. Hamby the turn. Denied. And now a chance for Dallas in transition. Agumbawale lays it home. And a 20-point game for Arike Agumbawale, who has done it efficiently. Now 10 of 20 from the floor.
This game far from over. Only an 11-point lead for Vegas.
Wilson raises up. Short. Rebound taken by Katie Lou Samuelson. Chance here for Dallas. Stops and scores is what they need. Got the stop. Agumbawale can't give them the score. Great box out from Hamby.
Seen a few possessions now where they've been really good box outs by the Vegas Aces.
Lindsay Allen hits the jumper to look like a lot of tired legs on that possession.
Tired legs, tired lungs right now. Players wanting a timeout, but Brian Agler needs to save it.
Hamby, more good active D. Do you have tired lungs as well, Rebecca? How are you holding up?
My legs are fine. How are your lungs?
They're holding up.
Okay.
I've been reading James Nestor's Breath, a fantastic book. So, you know, I'm learning more about, you know, how to have the lungs at full capacity. We'll talk more in the break. How about Arike Agumbawale?
Arike Agumbawale has been good after a bit of a slow start. Getting out.
ESPN's coverage of the WNBA is brought to you by AT&T 5G and Taco Bell. Order ahead and pick up your favorites at our contactless drive-thru.
Asia Wilson continues to be terrific for the Vegas Aces. We talked about it at the top of the show. She gets the ball, can put it on the floor and get to the rim. Always active on the offensive end of the floor, whether she has the ball in her hands or is waiting to get it. Great high-low action from De'Erica Hamby. Once again, Asia Wilson leading her squad with 19 points.
Deep 3 from Agumbawale, rims out. The rebound, Wilson. You think about just how talented this Las Vegas team can be when they have all their pieces. You get Kelsey Plum back, you get Liz Cambage back, Asia Wilson, Angel McCautry, De'Erica Hamby, Kayla McBride, the first pick of last year's draft, and Jackie Young.
You can't underscore the impact that Kelsey Plum had a season ago. She really found herself in the playoffs, looked terrific.
2:15 to go in the fourth. And a 13-point Las Vegas lead. The Aces looking to move to 2-2 on this early season. Here is Wilson, already 19 points. Good hand to deflect the pass from Mabry, and the jumper too strong.
Great job by De'Erica Hamby. Right now, you're just wanting the clock to wind. Vegas uses the entire shot clock, then she gets another possession.
Sabally on the steal. Sabally leading the break. Dishes ahead to Katie Lou Samuelson for the lay. And Las Vegas will take a timeout. So will we. 1:35 to go, and Las Vegas by 11. But she is working her way back already, rehabbing from her torn Achilles, and not going to be able to play this season. But wow, the Aces cannot wait to get her back after the incredible playoff she had last year. Averaged 15 points, just under 8 assists, and just under 5 rebounds in the playoffs a season ago.
It's got to be encouraging for Kelsey Plum to see what Brianna Stewart is doing this season after returning from her Achilles tear and rehab. I mean, Brianna Stewart's playing terrific. Her body looks great, and we wish the same for Kelsey Plum.
Allen's leaner. He is partially blocked. 11-point game, 1:15 to go. And a steal from Wilson, but a foul. A foul called against Las Vegas. Bill Lambier didn't love it.
Marina Mabry seeing her first action of this season for Dallas, getting another 3-point shooter in the ball game.
Second, it's the first under 2 minutes.
And that time, it is Mabry who's hit with the foul.
That's her first.
Final 1:05 to go in the fourth. Nice bounce back performance from Vegas as well after losing on Friday night. A'ja Wilson's jumper rims off. And for some people, these next few possessions still important. Agumbawale tosses to the corner. Samuelson spins, can't hit the jumper. Rebound controlled by A'ja Wilson. A 19-point, 8-rebound, 3-assist game for A'ja Wilson. Wilson off on the baseline jumper. Here's Du. Her jumper is good. And Vegas can dribble it out. The Las Vegas Aces pick up their second win of the season. 79-70 the final, as Vegas hands Dallas its second loss. For Las Vegas, A'ja Wilson, 19 points, one of 5 members of the Aces in double figures. And Kayla McBride, she was the efficient engine in the first half, especially to get Vegas off to a good start.
Yeah, A'ja Wilson was the one who finished it off for Vegas, but Kayla McBride got them going early on and did some nice things from the perimeter, got her jump. Player who continues to work herself into better and better condition, but